Now I seen you.
He was over at the station.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's when you came with the fancy headphones. Over WNT, the
I'm
conservative
trying to think of the
station.
name, because it
WJFN radio.
Yeah, I know, but it has something to do with.
What it has something to do with?
With something smooth, something your name.
What's his name?
That's what I'm trying to remember because that's right. That's right. It was green. That's right.
You might forget me. Just remember.
I know it had to be so smooth, you know. Stop the madness.
So we're gonna go about 10 minutes or something. And that'll be.
It's just pre-recording,
All
right?
right, so wait.
Chopping it up. I agree. That's right. I was walking around here, man. I said, there's a lot of stuff going on around here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this hotel. I'm gonna start giving out my business card for the event. So how you been, man?
Good, man.
Enjoying life?
Most of the time.
That's what's up.
You know how that 4-letter works.
Yeah. All right, we got Disco Motown going on at Banditos on the 21st of October. So you know where Banditos Burritos at on Patterson? 21st of October, kicking off at 7 o'clock for dance. I got a hustle instructor coming in to teach.
Wow.
And then 8 o'clock when the doors open up. And that's it, man. And it's free, no cover charge. Yeah. I mean, we had it going on at the Richmond Wine Station. We were doing that for like a year until they closed down. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Can you talk on the microphone?
Testing 1, 2.
Turn it on, please.
Turn it on. All right, let's turn this bad boy on. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. We good?
All right, that's it.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
1, 2.
Yeah.
Stop the madness.
So, hold on, because you're gonna turn Untitled Chapter, so I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
People keep turning their faces.
Para que me vean la cara.
So this camera is for you right now, so if you wanna talk to the camera at some point, this is it.
This is where to point out when I'm talking about the event, letting the people know about the event. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. In just a little bit. Could you meet the guy up at the front, Samar? You're gonna see him, he's gonna have his son in the chair.
Okay.
And that way show him the way back here for me when we get started. Are we ready?
Got your mic on?
Well, how to do that?
Come on.
They don't let me touch. Whatever you do, keep
Stop
your
the
hands
madness.
off of stuff. All right, we ready to rock? All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program. I'm your host, Mike King. We're coming to you from the Hilton today. That's the Hilton downtown, so we're not confusing people. That's where the magic happens. This is part of the Mike King Business Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1 every day from 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. We bring you the best of RVA in a different way, showcasing all the best and the brightest things that happen here in the area. I got it with us, the man right here, radio legend, William Estameta, otherwise known as Stop the Madness Latino. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
All righty. That sounds like a radio voice. It makes me question what I'm doing at a microphone. Tell folks who you are and what you do.
All right, so my name is William Estameta. I host Stop the Madness Latino show on WRRR 97.3 FM. And what I do on the show, bring a lot of that Latin groove, Latin jive to the audience. And also at the same time, what I do is interviews with the Latin genre. And to include, very important, I interviewed veterans with the concept of what worked and what didn't
Okay,
during their transition from military life to civilian life.
alrighty, and you know a little something about that military life.
I sure do.
You know a little something. You gave Uncle a year or two.
28 years.
28 years. Alrighty.
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about what's happening with the Latin community here and how you stay engaged, because you keep in the mix. You're combining Latin community as well as veterans, and you're right on the forefront. You have a lot of events that you do. You have something coming up for Veterans Day. Let's talk about what that is.
All right, so we have the second annual Veteranos Salseros coming up on November 11th, celebrating Veterans Day with Salsa Guy Richmond, Angel Rodriguez.
Shout out to Salsa Guy.
Yes, who's also a veteran. All right, so the concept is when we do these events and host these events, it's all about showcasing veterans that are in musicians and artists and singers. Veterans are, when they retire or get out the military, whether they did 5 years or 10 years, people look at them as, okay, yeah, you served your country and that's it. Thank you so much for serving. But pretty much what they're doing after they leave the military with that talent that they have is that they're entertaining their communities. So what I like to do is I like to bring that to the forefront to show that veterans are not only combat trained or trained in their specific field of jobs, but they're also entertainers. So that's the reason why now we're on our second annual Veteranos Salseros, and it's going to be hosted at Rosie's.
There you go. So Rosie's. So you stepped up this year. This is a big deal going to
We
Rosie's.
stepped up. Yes, we stepped up. So last year, the first annual, we were at because of COVID, because all the conditions that we had with the bylaws, our max capacity was 68, and we were at 68. We had to turn people away, and I felt bad because it's all about entertaining people. So this time we stepped it up, and now we could pretty fill up the place.
There you go. William Estimator, Stop the Madness. WRIR is where you find them. Thursdays at?
Thursdays from 1 to 2 on WRIR.org.
All right, there you go. Alrighty, so what can people expect on Veterans Day?
So what 7 to 7:45, they're gonna have salsa lessons from Salsa Guy Richmond. You're gonna have a little bit of instructions going on how to dance salsa, how to dance bachata. Then from there, then it's gonna kick off with with our guest speaker, who is David Garcia. Mr. Garcia, who's a retired veteran, major retired veteran. And then after that, we got the band is gonna kick off.
Okay.
Which they're all either, and this is what bugged out, they're either veterans or active duty. And then we got Wito Rodriguez that's coming in, who is the main attraction, the main artist, the main singer, with Pablo Perez, el alcalde de la salsa, who's backing them up.
There you go. So you're totally involved in the community. A couple weeks ago, I saw you down in Hopewell. There was an event down there in Petersburg.
Oh, in Petersburg. Yeah, so they had the Petersburg Art Area League was hosting an event there, which was the Intercontinental Festival, where they had all the restaurants down there were serving their food.
Okay.
But the POW was serving Mexican food because we were trying to bring that culture of Latino because of Hispanic Heritage Month. So, we had we had teaching going on how to dance salsa. We had Mexican food. There was a lot of artists represented, especially one of the artists that I have to say dear heart to me is my wife, Vega, who had the Combat Vega representing females, women in the combat.
Really?
Yes, because, we look at combat and the first thing that people would start
Bunch of men, it's all men.
It's all men. But there are women also who served in combat. So she painted this Combat Vega in pink. It's her, her in her outfit, her combat outfit, but it's all in pink, representing that women are also in combat.
We got to take a look at that one.
Yes, sir.
We got to have her on the program.
Yes,
because a lot of times we don't think, like you said, we don't think about women in combat.
No, we don't, because we think that masculinity, did I say that right?
That's close enough.
Okay, so is that Spanglish going on right now?
You know, we always start off where people start off with the Spanglish. And for people who don't understand, this is the English part. So Spanglish is when they start off in English swerve over into Spanish, come back a little bit. The crazy part about it is people don't speak Spanish can understand it. We might miss a part or two here and there, but we get, and Emmanuel's over there, he just thinks it's funny.
It's not the man.
So that's the technical term for Spanglish.
Spanglish, yeah, Spanglish, English, and Spanish, because you
You talk about your kids,
and it's
so
it's bugged out, but it's way before my kids, because I remember watching documentaries with Fania All-Star, which is back in the 1950s. It was a band that was created to put together, and 80% of those individuals that were in the band spoke Spanish.
okay.
Which is mind-blowing.
It is true. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we got William S. Matters in the house. All right, so you know what? We got my man, we got Sabar Lemons just rolled in here. We're gonna talk to him in a little bit. So he is Henrico High School's finest. He is a motivational speaker we're in here talking about. And I'd see here, he still got that Washington stuff on, but we ain't gonna say nothing about that. Another week went by, and now we're looking where nobody else is. That would be 1, 2, 3, and oh, shout out to my Eagles there. None personal. All right, so we got, what else do people need to know about the event that's coming up?
So the event, of course, hosted on the 11th of November. You can check it out if you want. There's a lot of information. If you go to SciSouthRichmond.com/VS Victor Sierra for those military personnel, Victor Sierra. And all the information is on there. It'd be awesome if you go out and support Veterans Day, 11th November. It's paying tribute to veterans. And the best thing about it is that the veterans that are performing at the event are all veterans, and some of them are active duty. So just come out, have a great time. At the free salsa lessons, stop the madness.
There you go. William S. Matters, Stop the Madness, and how do people find you on Thursdays?
Well, they can find me anywhere.
Drop a little bit of Spanish on them too while we at it, man. Just go ahead, just give them a little Spanish. So that
bueno, mi gente, pueden encontrarme en stopthemadnesLatinoshow.com o pueden encontrarme en todas las sociales. Si van Latino Madness o hashtag Latino Madness o hashtag Stop the Madness Latino, estamos todos ahí. So, todos los jueves de 1 a 3 de mediodía tirándote la salsa, bachata y merengue y todo lo más.
Bueno, Mike, I totally agree with what he just said.
Stop the madness.
There you go. I totally agree. That's exactly what I was going to say. Well, thanks for coming on the program.
I appreciate it.
All right, on the mic, we're keeping things moving right along. So, thank you. Can I get
bounce?
Yes, you can leave. Thanks. I appreciate
Stop
that.
the madness.
Thank you. All right, you know who we got in the house? So Levi Stockard is here. He didn't think he was coming on air tonight. So come on, young man. Come on, step up real quick. Yeah. He thought he was just coming in here styling. No, it don't work like that. These are from our partners over there at Synergy Technical. Welcome to the program, young man.
Glad to be here.
Come on, you got to give us a little bit more volume with that one. Welcome to the program. There you go.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All righty. So tell us who you are and what you do.
My name is Levi Stockard. I work for Synergy Technical. I'm the head of community engagement for our company.
The last time I saw you, we were over at Synergy Technical. We were rocking the little kid basketball. It was the bubble basketball game, and they were killing it. They were killing it.
It was fun. It was fun to step out of the reality of basketball in general, just to do something fun like that.
There you go. So one of the things that Synergy Technical does, you guys are an IT company, and the best around. But besides that, also, so ladies and gentlemen, if you need IT services, make sure you check out Synergy Technical. And then you're also going to hear Levi is on sometime. You also hear Factoid from Cyber Lexi talking about things, how to keep your network secure. So we're here. Talk a little bit about your community engagement. What does that mean? Like, what does that look like?
We as a company, we have a big heart in that because we work with a lot of nonprofit organizations that we partner with, and we have a strong partnership with BCU men's basketball. So we leverage that relationship with BCU to kind of get out and bring back to the community that we work in. So you going from being one of the VCU basketball players over into, as people say, the real world now. Yeah, you're in a different team. But what you're doing is you're still connected. Oh yeah, I still know the guys, man. We still talk here and there, and like I said, when we go out and do these events, I talk to them. That's who I'm reaching out to, and
Alrighty.
Create that relationship.
And where are you from originally?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
All right, and you came to, what's the biggest difference between St. Louis and Richmond with the weather? Let's talk about the weather a little bit.
With the weather, man, it's in St. Louis, we get all seasons extreme. So like it's a little bit more milder here on the East Coast. Well, in Richmond in general, because they don't get the worst of the seasons. So that's the biggest difference.
Okay, let's talk sports for a moment. Favorite basketball team?
Favorite team? I don't have a favorite team. I have favorite players.
Who's your favorite player?
I have to rock with the hometown heroes: Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum.
Really? So you're straight up, you're a homer.
Oh yeah.
Like me. Hey, you know what? I understand it. Hey,
St. Louis, man, we're a prideful city, man. We rock with everybody that's from there.
that's like Philly. We do, you know. We ride with you to the wheels fall off.
To the wheels fall off.
And so let's talk about, what are the Celtics gonna do this year with Tatum?
Man, I think he got a lot of experience going to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it'll be really good. They just picked up Blake Griffin, so I feel like that's a veteran presence in the locker room. I feel like they can make some noise.
So the young guys they used to be the young guys. Now all of a sudden they were right there at the doorstep.
Yeah, they were at the doorstep. They just couldn't knock it down. I mean, they went up against some very, very talented people. Steph Curry. I mean, that's hard to beat in the finals, and they've been there.
They were there. All right. How can people get information about Synergy Technical out there?
You can I'm forgetting the website name, but
Synergy Technical. All right, we'll give up yours.
My contact information is lstocker@synergytechnical.com.
There you go.
Get in contact with me.
There you go. All right, Levi, thanks for coming on the program. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks, man. Have a good. See what we do here. We just keep things moving right along. We got my man right here. Samar Lemons is going. He gonna roll in here for a minute or two. See, he thought he was getting away with not coming in. So, but no, it don't work like that. Alrighty, so he's gonna have a program on here with us, and it's gonna be called the Lemon Drop. And he's gonna be dropping nuggets. His dad's over there smiling, over there talking about nuggets of knowledge here about what's happening as far as sports, life, and everything going. Still rocking. I see you got the
Black Air Force.
The Black Air Force One. That's his deal right there. He let me know. And coming up for Sneaker Fest, I'm rolling out with mine, but I'm not telling anybody. But you like the Black Air Force One. You say they go with everything.
Yeah, they go with everything. You can't go wrong with them.
Can't go wrong with them. All right, tell people who you are and what you do.
I'm Small Lemons. I'm a C4 incomplete. Right now, I'm trying to gain out my movement back, going to therapy. You know, trying to inspire people, even myself. I'm steady pushing.
Yeah, you pushing. Keep talking, man. What are you looking at me for?
I'm sorry. You know, I'm trying to motivate people, get the limb drop station up and popping.
Because you're working on. So when I asked you what your social media again, what was it again?
I changed it.
I saw that.
Yes, sir. I changed it. It's s.lemons_ on Instagram, and it's Small Lemons on Facebook.
What was it before?
Glow Boys.
Yeah, I like that. See, I didn't know. You know, when you look at people's social media, you kind of wonder exactly what that one was. All right. So you're an optimistic young man. When I asked your mom when you got injured, how that worked, and she said she told the doctors, like, told you.
Yep.
That's how it's gonna work. We had another week of football.
Yes, sir.
How'd your team?
We not doing so good right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
We're not doing so good.
Yeah, I know. Bip, I'm from Philly. I'm sorry for you. No, not really. I am not sorry for you. I just hope y'all just keep getting, but not you, but you said your whole family, everybody like the Cowboys.
Yeah, everybody loves.
Man, I can't get with the Cowboys.
Yeah, me neither.
I wanted the Cowboys and the Washington to lose in the same game if that was possible, and it wasn't. But alrighty. So since you were on with us the last time, your mom says a lot of people reached out to you, talking about you on ESPN with the Lemon Drop.
Yes, sir.
There you go. All right. So what are you going to talk about? Talk to me.
Whatever you want me to talk about, I'm down with it.
How am I going to talk? It's your show, man. How am I going to talk about what you want to talk about?
We talk about high school football.
All right. So how's Henrico doing gonna do this year?
I want to say they're doing good, better than the year we played. We definitely won more games. Hopefully they keep getting better.
All right, Samar Lemons is here, right here. So we got a Deion Fox is in the house. Tell what position you played?
I played defensive end,
Mm.
but I was real small, but I can get back there.
I hear you. Hey, so when you look at when they looked at Jay, just looked at who the slim guy right there, and then all of a sudden you was blowing by him. All righty, so what we do is we we talk about overcoming adversity. So when you talk about what you're doing and the physical therapy that you do, I know you wrote up here with Dad this time.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the physical therapy and sometimes how it works. Like, what does it feel like? At times you want to give up, but you just keep on going.
It depends on the day, the mood, the mindset. Some days your therapist can work you harder than others. Like today was a good day. I just left from therapy not too long ago. They stood me up. We did a little bit of arm work, core work, stuff to get me on the next level.
So when you talked about it before, when we asked, all right, so when you're doing the physical therapy and I asked you, you can tell our listeners, we're here at the Hilton today and talk about when you all of a sudden you realize, okay, I'm going to be able to beat this thing right here. Because your mama just like, hey, this is not going to be what it's going to be. We're going to make this thing happen. Let's talk about when you get a win, like you go through where it was a hard physical therapy session. What'd you say?
A hard physical therapy session is when I just don't want to go and I just work anyway, just push through it, everybody just motivating me and I'm just like, whatever, and I still do it anyway.
All right, so besides being a motivational speaker, we're gonna talk some sports. You said there's certain sports, we're gonna talk about sports we don't know. Right. You know anything about cricket?
I have no idea what cricket, a commercial.
Okay, I ain't touching it that one. I think that's the one where they run and they throw it like this. No?
Nah.
NASCAR.
I love NASCAR.
Oh, you do? Me too. Yeah, that's one. All righty. Tennis.
Tennis. I like tennis.
Okay. So can we talk about tennis?
Yeah, we can talk about tennis.
Will we know anything about tennis?
Zero knowledge about tennis. Only person I know is Serena Williams.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So maybe we have to work on that. How about swimming? No.
Yeah, we could talk about swimming, but I have zero knowledge on that too.
So can I? So for people out there who don't realize, there's a show called Seinfeld, and it was a show about nothing. What are we gonna talk about if neither one of us know nothing?
Somebody gonna have to do some research.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so maybe you'll handle the research part, and then I'm gonna ask you, but I gotta know a little something. Okay. So on the mic with Mike, Samar Lemons here rocking with me, and he is here. He's gonna be coming to you. He is gonna be the motivational speaker for ESPN Richmond. On the mic with Mike, we're here talking about sports, life, everything in between. And how can people find you out there once again?
On Instagram, my name is s.lemons_. On Facebook, it's Samar Lemons.
Okay. No, all right. So last time we had you got some shout outs you want to give to some folks? You gave a shout out to your babysitter the last time. Yeah, thank you, the babysitter. And you.
Shout out to Calvin, my trainer. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to my dad. Shout out to Sheltering Arms in Mechanicsville.
What's the cool part about Sheltering Arms? What is it like? What's it like working with them?
It's definitely a lot of therapists that encourage me. Of course, they love when I come through. They are very entertaining.
Are you entertaining?
Yeah, I'm very entertaining.
I was kind of thinking that might be the case. Dad shaking his head. So you the life of the party when you come in there?
I definitely am.
Oh, yo, excuse me. Do you know the person say, yo, are you the man? Yes, I am the man. All righty. And so Sheltering Arms. All right, so we're gonna give a shout out to Sheltering Arms. What's the great part about working with them over there?
They're fun. They push me a lot.
Okay. And what's the person's name over there?
Alexander,
Okay.
got his last name.
Shout out to Alexander over at Sheltering Arms. You're doing some great work with my man. Anybody else as we get ready to go? We got to circle back to football once again because my team is 4-0. I just had to drop that in there. You said when we talked the last time, Kevin Oliver, we got KO in the house right now. The young man said that he might be at the rapture when his team.
Yeah, hopefully we can win
Whew,
the Super Bowl before
that-
the rapture comes.
Yes, I'm like, hey, I hope so. I mean, just winning, not like real winning, but
Yeah.
just respectable winning.
Or undefeated at least.
Come on, man. Why you gonna go with that one? You like me, that ain't happening. For like you're Washington and I'm Philly. That don't happen to guys like us. We'll get to the last game, and then next thing you know, we'll get beat.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's true. All right, Mike is here, Samara's here. We got to run. As I always say, make sure you take care of the Mike, our sponsors and advertisers. We're at the Hilton. So if you need any type of hotel space for your holiday parties, make sure you check out the Hilton. Also, they are award-winning. They are the state's community partner hotel. So they do more for the community than everybody else, and that's why we rock with them here. We'd like to thank our partners. Synergy Technical is announced. You thought that you were going to get away, didn't you? You did? No? Okay. On the mic with Mike, we'd like to thank Samar for coming in. We're going to work on his game. He's going to come on and, he's going to come through. We're going to be over at ESPN, so make sure you take a look out for him. And we're going to keep on rocking. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you.
Good enough now. You go here with that Washington thing on. But that's cool. That's cool, man. I appreciate you coming in. Alrighty, so on the mic with Mike, we're here talking to you. Talk real quick. So on the mic with Mike, why am I talking like that?
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
So you didn't know you were getting corralled.
I did not.
You didn't know you're getting corralled into this right
I
here.
did not. I came to see my friend Levi.
And what happened when you step in? Alrighty, this is a business show. Tell folks who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Kathy Redford, and I am Vice President of Business Development for Synergy Technical.
You also do something with a nonprofit, and your name came up the other day.
Well, we do a lot of work with nonprofits, and I also work with the Association for Corporate Growth.
Okay.
I'm on their board. Yeah.
Alrighty, so talk about the culture of Synergy Technical.
Well, I was one of the very early employees, and I'm really proud to say our first technical hire is still with us.
That says something about culture.
It says a lot in a market where technologists are in high demand. Yes.
So you guys do a lot. So so we have Cyber Lexi coming on. She drops nuggets on us about security. What type of services do you guys offer?
Well, we have a number of services. So we do a lot of technology migrations where we do project work and move people to Microsoft Business Solutions. We work with solutions like Microsoft 365 that includes SharePoint and OneDrive and Teams. We work with Microsoft Azure, but we also have some other practices where we have a licensing advisory and we have managed services. Like we can come in, if you need help with IT, we can run IT or work with your team to help them run IT.
As we come through the pandemic, what was it that you realized that you guys had never done before? All of a sudden you kind of realized that thing worked and we'll continue to do it.
Well, what was interesting was we were already working remotely and doing it very successfully. We were still having office time, but I remember I flew in from a business trip and our CEO, Rohan Hamid, said, all right, you've just traveled. I don't want you to come in the office. And COVID was just starting to hit, but we already had the tools in place. So what we were really excited about is we got these tools and they work. So let's help our customers implement and deploy. And that's what we did.
And so you guys had it and the customers are just trying to figure out how do we do this thing?
And so the fact that we had already done it, we could help them with productivity and keep their businesses running during really a tough time.
So besides being top IT firm, you guys are totally committed to the community too.
We are.
Yes.
If you do well, you do good. And that's at the core of who we are.
So some of the things that we put you together with, one is SOAR 365.
They are amazing. Yes, SOAR 365 is wonderful.
And the partnership that you have with VCU basketball. So when I was over at your place last time, we're doing the basketball with the bubbles, with the team.
Yeah.
And the things that they go out, when they go out and they talk to students or people with developmental disabilities, whatever, they're star basketball players.
They are.
And so you guys give them that ability to connect with them.
And these are incredible human beings. And the kids love hearing their stories. And I remember we were at the Boys and Girls Club, and one of the young kids was talking and said, "Hey, were you a club kid?" to one of the players. And he said, "I was." And he said, and he went into, but I made choices in my life that brought me here. And so it's just super inspiring. I learn every time I go on a trip with these young men. They're incredible and they're very inspiring. And we just really enjoy our partnership with VCU.
One of the things that we always talk about is, and this is when we talked to Ro before, she said, you guys hire people.
We do.
And kind of like, and find a spot for them.
We do.
Where they fit in because they fit the culture of.
Yeah. When we see talent, when we see someone who works hard and you can just tell like their talent and their, we like people who like to figure things out, who like to solve problems. We will find a place for you. Yep.
There you go. Kathy is here. How can people find you guys out there once again?
Well, we're at synergy-technical.com, and we're in the Bookbinder building. Right.
That is a
on
cool
Broad.
building.
Yeah.
I'd never been there till I went to your place.
Well, you'll have to come back.
I'm gonna come back, of course. That's what we do. All righty, so we'd like to thank you guys for being, sponsors of the program. It's always cool. So when you talk about finding a place, you found a place for Levi, and he found a home. And I'd like to thank you guys. One last time, on the mic with Mike, we are the best business radio program around. I would like to thank Synergy Technical, all our other partners, Kelvin Oliver's over there, Core Mortgage. We got, so we're gonna talk sports after this. The women from Women Speaking Sports, they couldn't make it today, so we're gonna talk some NFL. I got Deion Fox here, Ken Oxendine. I'm gonna try my best to hold my own and not, well, I ain't gonna mess up, but I'm gonna try my best. On the mic with Mike, we gotta run. As we go, you guys take care. Thanks. Now take care.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's get this picture.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
Levi, can you take a picture of us?
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Here you go. You got that iPhone in this pocket, probably. That's how the young guys, the young Thundercats, do it. All right. Appreciate. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate. Thanks. Now.
All right. Rolling here.
Yeah, we keep moving.
Your editing, take out because it's Edward Garcia, not David Garcia.
Okay.
I didn't do that.
Hey. How you doing? Good. Appreciate that.
Mike Sean, he hasn't met you yet.
Hey, how you guys doing? You're welcome.
Famous Mike on the mic.
You from this guy?
Yeah. Oh. You don't need me? So, you will come back because I want. I good, appreciate, thanks, man. So, yeah, so this one will be.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna make it today. I see you soon. I'm gonna see you soon. You got to get that. So where you going? I was just in Philly. Let's see you go over like you said. Yeah. Hey, give me, I appreciate it.
All right, man, appreciate that, y'all, appreciate it. And so it's three of us, E. It's three. It said we could keep the chairs running.
So it's only 30, so let's do 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Like that? It worked. I got you.
Exactly.
Every time I sit in this damn chair. I feel like- No, I'm good. I'm just making sure it's up all the way.
Are you inviting people to talk?
No. Okay. What am I doing?
Which game you want to hit on first? After Mike do his thing. You know, Mike will do his thing.
I gotta do.
Probably, like I said, that's how that Pittsburgh game.
We can do that.
Pittsburgh,
But
well,
I-
shoot, either Pittsburgh, Miami, because almost you got new coaches and you got new players.
You got controversy
Yeah.
as well.
You got controversy. And we.
So hey man, I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna let you, pick which one you want, because I got some for all of them.
All right, cool. Because that's the bigger part of it is that these jokers right now, and yeah. And I think the big game this week is going to be, I think the score will be freaking outrageous since Baltimore.
Not a lot of defense, a whole lot of offense.
Yeah.
And I'm like I looked at the scores. It's like you got a couple of them that were close.
Mhm.
Within the field goal, something like
Yeah.
that, or last second touchdown. or a missed field goal, something like that, where it could have sent it to overtime.
Yeah.
It
All
was
right.
muted.
All right, E, we about ready to crank this bad boy.
See the microphone?
Check. Yeah, you got.
We good?
Check, mic check.
That's all.
That's on.
It's all stick.
All right, well, I don't know what to tell you, because I flipped it both ways.
That might. I don't know if it's muted.
Oh. It was muted. Oh, my bad, man. I was beating your eardrums up.
Boom, boom, boom.
No, that's slow, sorry. Usually when I see people going like this,
Especially when they wind up, it's like they're going to come from down south. Oh, no, don't. Just a check. All right, we good?
Check. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Cool. We're good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the mic with Mike. This is the Ox and Fox show. We're talking sports, NFL in particular, coming to you on the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1 daily from 5 to 7, The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio. We do like LeBron, we take our talent. I got to get a new line because, since we're talking football here, but, we do like LeBron and we take our talents on the road. So what you're going to get with Ox and Fox show is football insight. Both of these gentlemen played in the NFL. We're going to start on my right here, Ken Oxendine. Welcome to the program. Could you give a little bit about who you are and what you do?
It's Ken Oxendine, right here, born and raised Chester, Virginia. Went to Thomasdale High School, all American, both sides of the ball, defense, offense. Not number 9, and this is number 9 best pick when I came out. So I had to throw some kudos out there. Usually I don't talk about myself a whole lot, but when I get a chance, sometimes I can throw it out.
Sometimes you got to.
So 9th best recruit in the country when I came out. So
He just dropped that one bam.
So a lot of people said that when I was the person who bought Michael Vick there, but
okay, is that true?
I think I had a very good a presence to help that happen.
Being from Philadelphia, we say thank you.
You're welcome.
Because he did give us some, yes. All righty. So now the man just dropped some impressive. He said he was number 9. Deion Fox.
When I came out of high school, which was in the 80s, they didn't have all that stuff. So
You went back in the dark ages.
So I'm gonna be straight up with you. I came out of high school. I played both sides of the ball. Offensive, defense, was recruited as a running back out of high school. When I got to JMU, I got there. I actually played both sides of the ball, which was rare in college. I think the last person that did it, his name was Gordy Lockbaum. He did it back in the day, in the 70s. So I played defense and offense for 3 years at JMU, and then finally finished up on defense as a defensive end. Converted into a linebacker, so I had to move 5 yards off the ball when I got to the league. Played in Miami, Washington, and I am blessed to have had that opportunity. Wish it could have been longer, but hey, I'm gonna take what I got. He let me get there, and on to the next step of my life.
All right, you're also the chapter president for NFL Alumni Association. Talk a little bit about that one.
So I'm the chapter president here of the Richmond Alumni Association, NFL Alumni Association. Ken and I were at a golf tournament one year and said we need representation in the state of Virginia with all the athletes that come out of Virginia. So he and I spoke about it. I got on a Zoom call the summer of 20, and I put it in the chat. We were on there about a health initiative, and I got back with Ken and said, Ken, you know what? We about to get some words, some information. Are you still interested in doing it? He was like, yeah, man, let's do it. So here we are.
There you go. All righty. So we're here talking NFL football. What people are going to get weekly is you guys are going to give us some insight into what games that are upcoming, as well as games from the past week. One of the things I want to touch on quickly is the Tua situation. Let's talk a little, because somebody lost their job.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're at this stage when we thought we were past it. Realistically, when you think about doctors and all those things, and really, and when you think about it's been happening, but now it's fully happening when now someone's, I would say, their career, their livelihood, and someone's job, it affected, because it's several guys, and Dion has seen it all the time. You'll see a guy, and we know, when they get dinged and they keep on getting it and don't know when we still don't see it. And the doctors are still, they go into that the bat cave, what I call it, and they figure out, hey, what I got, what you got, how many numbers, how many fingers I got. All right. And the bigger part is he ended up getting dinged and then was allowed to come back to play.
One of the things that we looked at was, you're always going to ask guys, are you good? That's a leading question.
Yeah.
Of course I'm good. I'm not going to say I'm not. Sometimes, like in boxing, sometimes it takes the corner to stop the person because the player will not stop.
Man, you talk about that. Look, I'm gonna tell you straight up. We're trained for combat out there on the field. NFL is not for long if you sit on the sideline. Okay, not for long. And as sad as it sounds, from the era that I came from, Ken was a couple years behind me, and to now, there are a lot more protocols in place to where they even have somebody in the skybox that looks down on the field that's supposed to stop them from going out on the field. So week before last, when he fell back and then he did that wobble.
He said it was his back.
No.
They never seen the back do that.
No, I don't believe that. I believe his back may have been hurt, but that head snapping back, you saw him when he fell, that whiplash when you fall back and the back of that helmet smacks the ground. It doesn't matter if you're on turf, grass, it doesn't matter. It affects you, okay? Quarterbacks are not used to getting hit like that either, okay? There's a difference if it's a linebacker, he falls down and he hits his head, or a running back, or somebody like that that's constantly getting hit, A quarterback is not used to getting hit like that. Then for him to stay in the game, I really hope he recovers, because by him having those two incidents in a short period of time, it could be very detrimental to his health, not just now, but later on.
Could it be gun shy as well? For him?
It depends on his mental aspect when he comes into the game about getting hit again. So yeah, I mean, if he's not worried about it, he's not. When I think of quarterbacks that don't mind, taking a blow or running the ball or getting hit or something like that, I go back to when I played Brett Favre. I was in Green Bay for a short period of time, and he was a guy that could relate to defensive guys. He'd talk trash to the defensive players.
Yeah.
Good guy. I was in Washington with Gus Farrat, and when he headbutted the wall in Minnesota and he gave himself a concussion. Okay, he's not the guy. He's not that guy.
But wait a second. When he does that to himself, he doesn't endear himself to the defensive players like, yo, that's our guy.
No, because you knocked yourself out.
Okay, all right, so that's the disclaimer. You can do it, just don't knock yourself out.
Yeah, I mean, and at some point you need to know there's a reason why those guys wear the jerseys with the different color jerseys in practice, for us not to touch them or get near them when they're throwing the ball.
Okay, and that's the biggest part, is that, like I said, those guys aren't used to getting hit. And so when you see a guy that's taking that blow, now Tua, he's more of a runner anyway. He's the guy that's where he do take more blows in the game. But the thing is, during the week, your body get accustomed to it, get I would say calloused. So you're used to those things. So you're less likely to get a concussion during the game because of the fact that you're used to it getting hit. So a lot of times you see those quarterbacks hit their head, they get that whiplash, or they get that big blow, and that's why they protect them. That's why those rules are in place.
On the mic with Mike, that's me. I'm Mike King. This is Ken Oxendine. Deon Fox is here. Is the speed that much different between college football? See, this is what happens when you have your own show. You start asking, the experts, is the speed that much faster from the NFL?
Yes.
And it is, because in college, and Deon can attest to this, in college, it's like maybe when you play against another team, you may have 2 or 3 other guys, maybe one other guy that's as fast as you.
Okay.
In college, everyone's the same speed. And then some guys are faster than they're that freak fast. And it ain't Michael Vick is one, Randy Moss is one. The defensive end for the Titans a couple of years ago, it was called the freak. Javon Curse. So those individuals, and now because of the fact that these kids are, and I call them kids, because of the fact they're learning in middle school and before middle school how to be faster. We didn't get that stuff until we got to college.
We didn't. I mean, I remember when I came out of high school, like I said, I graduated in '89. So, as far as that goes all these speed camps and personal trainers and all these extra
Yep.
guys that they have now for high school kids.
Mhm.
I didn't have that in college.
Mhm.
I didn't get a trainer. I had a strength coach in college, and I had a trainer in the league, and they had like a team of like 4 or 5 guys that work with you. Now, when I came out of college, I ran like, I thought I was doing something, at 260 pounds, I was like 260, 258, 260. I ran a 4.540. Like, okay, but you're talking about back in 1993. They have the training now with guys that are 280 are running 4.5s. Now, the trip part is once I got to the league, the trainers that I had then, and we did workouts in the off season, I ended up running a 4.4. I was like, wow, okay, I got faster. But imagine that with these guys from high school to college and from college to the league if they get a shot. Because now you got a linebacker coming out now running a 4.5. He's considered too slow unless he's a middle linebacker. Yeah. Okay, because you got outside linebackers now. You got D linemen, you got D ends that run 4.5s now. Okay. Now, unless you're an extraordinary route runner or you're an extraordinary pass rusher or you're a ball hawk or something like that, we're gonna get you a look anyway. So that means that you come up in big games. Okay, you got a lot of sacks. You know how to cover real well. Doesn't matter. Like Jerry Rice, he wasn't that fast,
but he ran routes.
He ran routes extremely well. You know what I'm saying? And he knew how to run away from people, knew how to lose people. That's why he had such a long stint. And that and not a lot of injuries. You know what I'm saying? Knew how to watch himself and take care of himself.
All righty, so this is on the Mike King here. We got Fox and Ox with us. This is part of the Mike King Radio Network, ESPN Richmond, the Choice 105.3. Like you said, we'd like to thank show sponsors who are out there. Real quickly, so now you guys are gonna go down through some games, and we're gonna go through rapid fire. Ox, what are we gonna start with?
Let's start with the Pittsburgh game. New quarterback.
With a bunch of Snickers in the room here.
The girls are out here today.
They're not here. Yes.
But, it could be very interesting because the Steelers playing the Bills, and it's you're throwing a stake in the Lions Den right now.
But the Bills didn't look like the Bills from last year.
No, they didn't look like them, but they still came back and won the game this past week.
And that's what it's about. Play to win.
They were down 17. They were down 17 and came back and won that game. So, it don't matter where you start, it matter where you're in. And I'm looking at the fact that Pittsburgh's defense isn't going to do a whole lot if the offense isn't productive. Speaking as a defensive player, we don't like to be out there for 12, 15 plays.
Them long drives.
And then we may hold them to a field goal. Or we get the ball back, and then offense is 3 and out.
There you go.
Okay.
And now you're back out there again.
And you're back out there again, and it can slow down your morale on that night. We're going to play. We're going to ball out now. We're going to give you all we got, but we get 50, 60 plays on defense. That's too many plays on defense,
Alrighty, so now they look up, they had a pick. They're going to look at Kenny Pickett. Guy from their hometown kid. Is it too soon?
It's too soon. I think he's just not. Last week he threw 3 picks. And it depends on how much that weighs on him and that pressure that he has. And it's not a game that he's going in that's going to have success with him. You think about the Buffalo defense. Yeah, did they falter last week? They will be feasting this week.
All righty. So why do you think now if it's a young coach, maybe he's worried about his job. Mike Tomlin ain't worried about his job, his structure. Now, being from Philly, I can think of Pittsburgh's had 3 head coaches. I'm 62 years old. The Eagles may have had 25 coaches during that time. Mike Tomlin ain't worried about his job. So why does he pull the trigger?
Well, even though we say he's not worried about his job, you always worried about your job.
Especially
and you always worried about success. The choices that you made as far as who you pick behind Big Ben. Okay, who's going to be his successor and step in. And, even though Ben, threw a lot of picks his last couple of years and made some mistakes, he also could bring you from behind and make big plays.
Did Ben handicap them from finding the next guy a couple of years ago? I mean, or is Pickett That guy.
He played well in college.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I think he has a great potential, but potential gets you fired.
Yes,
And so
I remember the Sixers with the process.
yeah.
Yes,
And
good, I remember that guy.
A rookie star is a 4-18. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting how he manifests. And the thing is, right now, defense, they're not playing Pittsburgh defense.
Well, my opinion on that is, it's like I've always said, like I said, I'm a defensive guy. However, on offense, have a young guy in or a new guy in or backup in, whatever it is, they have to manage the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what he knows, let him run. What he knows well, let him run that and let him manage the game and don't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Have to be smart with your decisions. Okay. He's double covered. Throw it in the ground. Okay. Throw it at his feet so no one can pick it off. If your receiver can't catch it, make sure no one catches it or sail it over his head. Don't throw 3 picks because then you can't count if one of those 3 picks, one of them is a pick 6. That's not against the defense because the defense is on the sideline watching the other defense guy run down the sideline and score.
Celebrate.
Okay? So you can't put that on the defense. Well, the defense gave up 21 points. No, we gave up 14.
Mm-hmm.
The offense gave up another 7 because he threw a pick 6. So it's one of the things you have to manage the game. Okay. Got to be out there. The ball is your baby at that point on offense. So let's run some plays. Let's work on. My coach in college used to tell the offense this, and I, like I said, I play offense in college as well. Play both sides of the ball, and he said, "Look, this is what we're gonna do. Line, whoever's blocking, if we run a run play, y'all get us 2 yards. The running back will get us the other 2 yards. We do that 3 times in a row. We got a first down." Pittsburgh was known for banging and running the ball. Where that is gone, I have no idea.
That is going somewhere.
I can tell you where it hasn't been, but they've been trying to develop, but it just hasn't been there.
And that's where the quarterback is able to lean on. And right now, they don't have that option.
Gotcha. All righty, Ox, what's the next game?
Baltimore. You got 2 high. You have 2 high octane offenses that's playing Cincinnati. They're playing Cincinnati.
Gentlemen, now I always say this is a business show, and Fox always talk about people making business decisions about going across the middle. When Lamar Jackson saw Tua go down, did he start thinking about his contract?
A little bit he did, but also Tua's not Lamar. And Lamar's not Tua as far as the athleticism.
Okay.
And as far as the quickness and the speed, Tua is not a scrambler like Lamar is.
No.
Okay. So we can say that, and it's safe to say Lamar runs easily 4.4s, easily 4.4s. Tua, no, he does not. And yeah, he's thinking about it, but at the same time, he knows how to get away. He knows how to, if he's going to take a blow, he knows how to take that blow.
Yeah.
You don't see him getting pushed down and slammed down and pushed down like where he falls back on his back and hits his head. Like I haven't seen him take hits like that. Okay.
On the Mike King here, Ox and Fox. This is on ESPN Richmond. Hey, folks, this is the best round. You don't get this anywhere else except for right here. All righty, so your take on Baltimore.
They have to protect the offense, got to protect the defense. And that's going to be, I think, if they can keep the ball in the hand, but they score so fast and has that opportunity. The thing is that they have to find somewhere within those 4 quarters to be able to just grind it out and keep it out of Joe Burrow's hand.
And what happened to Harbaugh at the end of the game? Did he get too sexy for himself? Yes. Take the points, man.
Yeah.
Take the points.
Because
you never take points off the board.
Yeah.
You never take, and you see how we said that simultaneously, right? That's because we've heard that from high school all the way up. You never take points off the board. You have an opportunity to get points, you get the points.
That's why your team was ready to fight him. that's why the team wants to fight the coach.
And that was a bad business decision on his part. Maybe he had enough confidence in his team to, we'll punch it in there. But at the same time, let's be smart. Let's be smart, because Man, you know.
Exactly. Exactly is what I'm talking
Let's
about.
just be smart next time. Let's be smart.
Yeah.
Let's take the points as they presented to us. You know,
Take the
turn down
point.
points.
That way you don't have to fight you don't have to have a security for your coach. Because coach needed some security that day because he gave one away. All right. So Ox, what's the next one?
It's the Monday night game, Kansas City and the Raiders.
All right.
So again, where's the game gonna be played? Let me look real quick. Where the game gonna be played?
It's at Kansas City. if I'm
Is it-
correct.
okay, so I'm gonna go with Kansas City. And the reason why is because number one, they're playing at home.
Mhm.
Okay. They looked like they were getting in sync.
Which is not good for the rest of the league.
No.
It's not good for the rest of the
Not at
league.
all.
And even though they always talk about they missing Tyreek, yeah, they missing Tyreek, you know.
I can find another Tyreek Hill.
But they have other players that are making plays right now.
Yeah, 15.
And they are clicking
Yeah.
right now. Like after they played against Tampa, now what could really hurt them is if, you know, they got that hangover from beating Tampa
Yes. Yep.
and go in here and try to look past the Raiders.
And the Raiders, their biggest things right now, they are still trying to get in sync. You know, now you're seeing the ball being forced, and until he can, that's the great thing what Mahomes does. He spreads the ball around and gets different players, and that opens up everybody else.
Everybody plays hard for him.
And so you trying to force feed Devontae Adams, you know, that's the problem. As soon as he realized I got other players, get Waller back involved and those other pieces, now you can see a difference in Kansas City. I mean, in LA, and if they can, well, the Raiders Vegas now, if they can find it this week, I honestly think it's going to be a closer game than what people may think.
All right, this is Fox and Ox on the mic. Mike King here. Derek Carr. Now, I'm not a football expert. You know, I'm just a guy who watches. I'm not like you guys. Is he as good as people? Because they go all across the board. He's the greatest thing, and the next thing, man, Derek Carr. What's about him?
He's a stat guy. You know, when you think about the Tony Romos, you think about, and I always go back to, because Tony Romo was the biggest stat guy and he's a great commentator, but
he is good.
Yeah,
I love him.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't say nothing nice about anybody related to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
but he really is entertaining.
Yeah, and same thing with Carson Palmer after he got hurt. A lot of those guys, they just put up numbers, and so now he's now trying to. But this other side is that he's in another offense. So that's the other side that a lot of teams get it wrong. Is that all right? Gruden's out. All right, I change everything. Boom, boom, boom. Now, not only do my coaches got to learn, my players got to learn it, and then now we got Devontae Adams coming to have to learn it. So those are the pieces of trying to get on the same page. Is that when you're always changing the offense, everybody got to learn it. And you look at the teams that do well; they have their teams have been in that offense for a while.
So,
and let's be clear, these playbooks, they're not this thin. They're remember the old yellow pages, how thick that was? That's a playbook. That's a playbook. And so for every play that you run, you can run that play to both sides, and there are different variations and formations of that play.
And then
movement, shifts, motions, all that. So one play, you may have 15 variations of that one play.
And what's so crazy is you have to know once a person moves that, all right, now his route changes his route and his route changes his route. But then if I get a certain coverage, I got to change it.
And that's the next thing I was about to say. Yeah, go ahead.
Because that's the hardest thing, because and that's what people don't understand. As a running back, I had to know, and wide receivers, some of them, they just got, okay, I got coverage. So now just
so we got a guy over there shaking his head like, say, I'm just a guy, you guys are talking. I'm like, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I agree with what they're saying there. How does a guy go from being a stat guy to being a winner?
You don't worry about the stats, you make plays. Because when you talk about stat guys, you're talking about, okay, how many completions can I get? Okay, well, let me throw the check down, which may be good to help your team out in the short term. But there's a difference between throwing the check down and what Mahomes did when he rolled out, did a little spin move, and threw a little lob, and then found the guy, and that's making a play. Okay, he made a play to get points on the board. Sometimes being a stat guy, you're like, okay, I'm gonna keep my stats up so that way I can keep my money straight. And it's a business decision. You're gonna hear me say business decision many times because like I said, NFL is a business.
All day long.
There's not, they talk about family. Man, you play for the shield, okay? And when you play for the shield, all those teams fall underneath that shield. As long as you're producing, you're good. So they figured that I keep my stats. I can keep my stats up. I'm productive. I'll stay around, and then hopefully we'll end up winning some games.
One of the things you always talk about when you say it's a business decision, and this is, I'm known as for doing business. When you look at Derek Jeter, his special, he felt a certain way when the Yankees didn't show him love.
Yeah.
But when he became an owner,
Yeah,
he noticed, okay, this is not exactly the same. So you, not for long, you play for the shield in essence. And you have to do what you have to do to take care of yourself.
And your family, exactly.
And that's the one thing, especially in the NFL, because a contract is not guaranteed.
It ain't a baseball contract.
No, not a basketball contract either.
They owe, A-Rod $250 million, and he got every inch of that $250.
Yep.
They didn't want him around the Yankees, but they're like, you know what? We're tired of paying you for not doing anything. Why don't you just come on in here? Because now, if that's football, did you had an example of the money that you get?
Shoot, myself, my last contract got signed 2-year deal for $750. I ain't seen none of that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I ain't seen none. And this is what people don't understand is preseason and postseason players don't get paid their salary. So that's why the owners wanted, when you think about ownership and those want to have extra games. So now you have those first 4 games, each player gets paid $600 a game.
Yeah, that's preseason.
That's preseason.
Yeah, it's a stipend.
Yes.
You get stipend.
And then you think about all their money, all the big contracts are paid from first game to the 16th game. So now, if I'm getting paid $100 million, whatever it is, at $10 million for that year, all right, 16, I'm done that first game. That first playoff game is $10,000 each player.
That's a long way.
Yeah,
that's a long way down.
Yeah,
but the league is paying that money. So it's a different. All right, so
yeah.
So how he explained it, that's true. Game 1 through game 16, 17 weeks. Okay, because you got a bye week in it. So game 1 through game 16, you only got 16 games. Your team is paying you that. The owner's paying you that. Preseason, league. Postseason, league, because it's playoff money. So the playoff money, they divide it up, and then the loser gets a certain amount. So back when we played, it was 10 grand for the winner. For the first round, it's like 10 grand for the winner, 7,500 for the loser. Everybody on the team. The next round, it goes up. The next round, it goes up. If you played a wild card, it was like 7,500 and 5 grand. Okay, back then. Then you get after the wild card, first championship game, and then Super Bowl. Okay, and then whatever other deals that you had worked out with incentives. If you made certain incentives during that time, sometimes they cut the incentives off at the last game of the season. So let's say you were 2 yards shy of the yard. You need to get 1,000 yards.
We've seen that happen.
Okay, sometimes, I've seen this happen. One of the teams that I played for, okay, they purposely didn't play one of the running backs because he had to get a certain amount of yards. So they were doing a rotation, and he was hot that game, but their rotation never saw him going back in.
All right, so wait a second.
Yeah.
So is the coach standing on the sidelines, or is this a call coming from upstairs saying, hey, we need to look at the numbers here? Because the coach is trying to win the game, so he doesn't get to be an ex-coach. Who's thinking about, okay, we could look at the end of the Super Bowl. Why did they go with, Russell Wilson?
I knew you was gonna bring that up.
I was gonna bring it up. If that's the case,
Business decision.
there we go.
But here's the business decision on that piece. We all know that play was going to determine who was going to be the Super Bowl MVP.
And we don't want to talk Skittles.
And Marshawn does not talk.
Exactly.
So they made that decision like, okay, well, we can put it on Russ's shoulders and get him to throw this pass and possibly throw the winning touchdown.
And go Hawks.
And then he could be the one that could be
going to Disney.
Exactly.
they didn't know what they were gonna get with Marshawn.
Mhm.
Okay, so they were scared to give it to him. Mind you, the play before, it was 1st and goal from like the 9. He picked up 8 yards. Okay, so
So you're wondering if Pete Carroll's standing on the sidelines, ready to win the Super Bowl. Does he say that, or does somebody claim, hold on a second?
it very well could be. I know Al Davis.
Well, he wanted to, yeah, okay, he was different.
Yeah.
That was a different time.
Very much so. But we got some that's like that in this time.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Down in the Lone Star.
You know what I'm saying? We got some that's like that at this time where they either in the press box calling down, it may be down on the sideline talking and peeping in your, in your ear about certain things because it's you can't take this personal. So that's why I tell every player, whether they are the last man on the roster or the franchise player, man, guard yourself, do what you got to do, and understand it's a business. You can't take any of this personal. It's work, it's business. Mind you, we playing a kid's game.
Mhm.
We love this game. I love this game. People ask me, man, I know you sore I'm sore every day when I get up out of my bed. I'm stiff every day. I have to stretch and gather myself before I get up and walk 10 steps into my
So you had to
bathroom.
make sure all the parts got it with you.
Exactly.
all day long.
But they asked me, would you do it again? Yes, I would.
Yeah.
I would go out there and play again just because I love the game.
Yep.
There you go. All righty, Ox, what we got next?
Got your squad, the Eagles and Cardinals.
What are you playing?
They're at Arizona.
In Arizona. Okay.
So, but what's so crazy with this game is just Kyler Murray is
A running quarterback.
Yes.
and
He seems to me an accident waiting to happen.
but
I don't know.
he just says you have to have. I saw him last year.
It never goes
yeah.
bad until it goes bad.
Yeah,
That's why it's called an accident.
Yeah.
He's like,
and he's not a big dude.
No,
No.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to say the same thing. He's like that little one that you just can't catch.
Yeah,
He feel like I do sitting between you two.
yeah.
It's just
but I'm gonna
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you about Kyler though. He reminds me a little bit of Mahomes minus the height.
Yes.
Because he's also a former baseball player.
Yeah.
And he also knows how to make those awkward throws.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a plus for him. However, he still doesn't have the weapons that he used to have.
No.
Right.
There's a plan now.
One of the things, I'm gonna reach back and say, am I crazy? Why did I love Johnny Manziel? And I don't know where that came from, but
It's attitude, probably.
you know what? And that's what I felt with him. And when you feel it with Kyler Murray, it's like we got a chance with him.
Yeah.
That he's gonna find a way to win. When you look the eyeball test, first one be like, not that guy,
Yeah.
not him. But all of a sudden, he's finding a way.
Yeah. And that's what's so crazy is him finding a way. But the biggest thing that's crazy is your quarterback. Hurts is playing his mind off.
Yes, he is. Now, the name
Yes.
is worrisome,
Yeah.
being a Philadelphia
And
fan.
watching him, because he had a play at the goal line.
Yeah, he did.
That he didn't have to take that.
And then he got up and flexed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
And so
Mhm.
that's what he reminds me a lot of Michael Vick.
Yes. And the part with Michael Vick was, and we talk about this, was we didn't get the Atlanta Michael Vick who ran lights out.
Yeah.
Now we got the post Michael Vick, and he brought electricity to the city.
Yeah.
But every time he got hit, we all held our breath. Like, is he getting up?
But he was a better passer when you got him.
Yes.
Okay.
He was.
He was a much better passer. He made better decisions, game time decisions, as far as moving the ball,
Yeah.
making sure that he found his receivers,
Yes, he
making sure he made smart plays. Jalen is still young. Okay. So the flexing, I had a coach that used to say, hey, look, when you make a play, act like you've done it before.
You've done it. You've done
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Act like you've been there before. And I understand, you hyped up or whatever. But one player that I remember playing against who used to make electrifying plays every game, Barry Sanders. When your defensive coordinator tells you, hey, do not try to tackle this guy by yourself. My defensive coordinator sat in the team meeting and told the whole defense, we're going to corral this guy. Do not try to tackle him by yourself. Every time he scored, he did one thing. He turned around, found an official,
Here you go.
and handed him the football.
And that's how he walked away from football.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That it's not a lot of fanfare, but it got the job done. All right, Ox, what you got next?
Cowboys Rams.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Cowboys keep winning without Dak, and you know, and the Rams, Aaron, has he been playing much?
He's playing that they're double and triple teaming him you expected that because you got to understand when they won the Super Bowl, they had Von Miller.
Yep, there it is.
Vaughn is gone now.
Yep.
And it's all on you.
So now it's all on you. They have another couple guys, you know, but they're not Von Millers. Okay, because Von Miller, even though he's older, he's still a threat.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need this guy and this guy. And so now you can afford the triple team. Now, you know, AD can beat a double team a lot of times. But you talking about a triple team? Like I saw one time he was rushing and two guys were on him, another guy came over
And chipped him.
and he just kind of like was like this and just like was looking and just turned around and said, okay, he's gone now. I can't get to him. The other piece is that boy, Stafford is not playing well.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say.
He quarterback play is not well with him at this moment. Now it may kick in at some point, but for going against a backup quarterback that is playing well in Dallas, and I'm not a Dallas fan by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, however, I will give props to players who are playing well,
And he's playing well.
He's playing very well, and he's managing the game well. And going back to something that I saw and heard during the game, the last two games, okay, that they haven't dumbed down the playbook for him. Usually you dumb down the playbook or you minimize it or whatever you want. And I, you know, apologies for using that term because, you know, all these guys are intelligent to be able to play at this level. However, you usually break it down a little bit to make it a little bit easier for them to manage. They haven't had to do that in Dallas.
Right.
So they've been running the full deal on it. And that's why they're not rushing Dak to come back.
Is there gonna be controversy when Dak comes back?
If Jerry makes it one.
Yeah. Yes. That's the problem with when you have an owner who, you know,
is the GM.
Yeah. And the
head
guy,
of draft.
Yeah.
This popcorn guy.
And
you know, and I mean, and this is his team, he can do what he likes with it. However, that creates a lot of controversy at times because, you know, you have a team that has a lot of players that every year you expect them to do certain things. And then some of those years, they don't even make it into the playoffs.
Yeah.
is the league better when business-wise when the Cowboys are good? I mean, being from Philly, I can't stand it, but you know, they are America's team, and people love to see
them. You either really hate them, they really love them.
There's no middle ground with the Cowboys.
And what's so crazy though is that they've had teams that should have been deep playoff groups and winning, and because they can't get out of their own way, you know, they just don't.
There you go. What game you got next?
You got the Giants and the Packers, and
playing where?
They're at Green Bay.
Green Bay. And the reason why is because you saw an Aaron Rodgers play a game a couple weeks ago, you know, with less weapons. And come out on top.
That can be an age-old question.
Now, this is the thing, though. Saquon Barkley is playing his mind off. He's back to old Saquon, and so that's helping the quarterback.
Shout out to all the Penn Staters out there.
He can't do it by himself.
No.
And so if you don't have a balanced attack against Green Bay, you will not be successful, especially at Lambeau.
Yeah.
Especially at Lambeau. It's different at Lambeau. Okay.
But it's early though.
It's early. It's early. No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the energy and the atmosphere at Lambeau. You know, you played on Lambeau Field, right?
I haven't.
Oh, I have.
And you said the fans are right on top of you.
No, that's Buffalo.
Oh, that's Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo, they're right on top of you. They're as close to you as their TV is to us right there at Buffalo. But Lambeau, they close to, and
well, what is it about Lambeau?
Man, it's just the energy in Lambeau, man. It's different. I've been there, you know, as a part of Green Bay, you know, and I've been there playing against Green Bay. And believe me, playing against Green Bay, it was a whole lot tougher being in there, you know, just because it's just the energy of that place. And if you're gonna win there, you have to make little to no mistakes, manage the game on both sides of the ball, and it's a chess match. And Aaron Rodgers, like I said on a different show, I think by far he is the best quarterback currently in the league right now, based on his performance from last year and what he's done so far this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has been, he is probably the most consistent quarterback.
Exactly. And I'm basing off of consistency.
And he doesn't have a lot of weapons all over the years.
Mm-mm.
All right, what do we got next?
We got a Thursday night game, the Colts and Broncos. Two old dudes playing for it. But what's crazy is Matt Ryan is in top 5 in passing right now.
Stat guy.
Stat guy.
Is he a stat guy?
Yeah. And that
Has he
defense-
ever come back from that
No.
Super Bowl?
No.
No,
That's a negative. Yeah.
I mean, when that happens to you on the biggest the biggest stage, you know, how do you come back from that?
You just, because it's always in the back of your head. And now the thing is that I thought the Colts was going to be the team that was going to allow him to be successful because everything that they had, but they're not playing. They're running the game in the same than what they had, and the defense isn't playing how they've been playing last year. And you thought that he was going to, you just could plug and play him, and he's having to be, and that's where he did so well in Atlanta, because if you look at when they won, they are running the ball really well. The Colts aren't running the ball. He's having to throw the ball.
And y'all had 2 running backs at the time. In Atlanta. Okay, 3. I know they had at least 2.
Yeah.
That, I mean, and they were horses.
Yeah.
You know, so
That was the
again,
Matty Ice of 5 years,
you know,
6 years ago.
and you had a sustained running attack every game. Because if one went down, you still had 2 in the rotation, and all 3 were in there, and they were similar, but they all had their own style, and they were great as running backs. Like I said, I'm not a fan of teams. I'm a fan of players that get out there and they ball, you know, and they had some ballers in.
They have had some. All right, what we got next?
We got the Chargers and the Browns.
Lord have mercy, the Browns.
They
Exactly.
Baltimore killed them.
They have controversy going on right now too, because I think the distraction with Deshaun right now is still a distraction.
Okay, let's touch on that. Only a place like the Browns would to me, being from Philadelphia, which can be related to Cleveland when it comes to some of that shenanigans. Only a place like that would take on Deshaun Watson with that kind of money, with that kind of distraction. Even when Andy Reid brought in Michael Vick, they knew that Andy Reid was the kind of place that could absorb that, you know, that kind of controversy coming into Philly.
And it's so crazy with the quarterback that they've had there. It's like, come on. And then paying the money. That's the one thing. The amount of money they paid them when they knew that he was going to, they had to know that he was going to play this year.
Yeah, not 6 games. You're talking about a whole year. And it's not, okay, you know, that's Cleveland. That's the mindset of an organization that finds ways to shoot themselves in the foot.
And when is the last time Deshaun took a snap?
That's like people calling for Colin Kaepernick. I'm like, it's been a minute or two, you know.
I mean,
you don't get younger.
You don't get younger. Honestly, I think Colin could probably come in and be a good backup quarterback and maybe work his way into one of the teams out there, maybe into a starting lineup, maybe. But definitely he'd be a solid backup quarterback after being out so long, because he's older, but he still has knowledge of the game. We talking about a quarterback that's in the league right now that hasn't taken a snap in a year and a half? And then it's going to be 2.5 years now? You know, it's going to be over 2 years before he takes a snap, you know, because he didn't play last season at all because of the contract stuff in Houston. And they wouldn't let him out the contract, and they wouldn't dress him. So, you know, he sat up in the press box or at home watching the game on the sideline, and then you got him sitting in the press box again this year, you know, because
but his pockets are a lot fatter.
His pockets are fatter, but is it really fatter? Because we need to look at that contract like, okay, he got a signing bonus. We know that. We don't, I'd have to check and see what the signing bonus is, but we also know that a lot of that money could be incentives. Okay. And if he's not playing, he's not going to make that, because your contract could be for 10 million, but 5 million of that could be incentives.
Very true.
And if you're not throwing a pass, how you going to get your incentives?
That is true. Next one.
The Lions and Patriots.
Patriots.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say the Patriots just because their rookie that came in, he played well. He played well. That rookie that came in played very well.
Okay, so when we've had the Now, for the Baltimore fans and the Pittsburgh fans, they just straight up hate Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Hate him. Now, hey, I just look at him, he did get us in the Super Bowl. I'm not even gonna talk about that, but he did. But you have to recognize greatness. When Brady wins and then Belichick comes back and he does what he does, is that a situation where both of them come across as winners? Because before it's just like, hey, it's one or the other.
Yeah, I would say that, because Brady has done well, but also you gotta think that he also lost his offensive coordinator too.
Yeah.
So now you're having to redo everything. The defense fine because he runs the defense. He's the defense guy. But offensive now you're having someone who either understood the offense but wasn't the brainchild of the offense teaching the offense, or you changed the offense.
He has a lot of discipline there.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say that about New England because I've seen players that were undisciplined
Go
in
there.
other places and go there
Corey Dillon.
and they not have one issue with that player. Blunt, the running back Blunt.
No, yes.
Yeah. I mean, he was, a problem child in other places. He went there and not a peep. Randy Moss, he was a diva.
Until he went there.
And he went there and he played, within the confines of the game. And I will say that the Patriots, I know he could get a bunch of guys together with average to just above average talent and coach them well, and they will be a contender each year.
Coaching them up.
Because they are getting coached well.
Yeah. And that's what he does well. Whatever they're doing from a standpoint of scouting guys, when they're exiting, they're in-house scouting to get rid of guys before they age out, and also getting talent from other teams, and when they're bringing in guys that draft.
One of the things I always look at Belichick is he keeps his crew around him. And when his coaches go off, they ain't exactly lighting the league on fire. But then they come back home again. Like I looked up the other day and saw Matt Patricia. I'm like, how did he come back?
I know, right?
And all of a sudden, now he flamed out. He did. But you can go back home again.
Yeah, you can, because you don't burn that bridge, and you have some, and I'll say this too, you have some coaches that are great coordinators.
Yeah.
But they're not good head coaches.
You
have a lot of coaches. I've seen a bunch of coaches. I played for a couple of head coaches that were great coordinators, but they weren't the best as a head coach, because being a head coach is another level.
Yeah.
And not taking anything away from their talents, but some people find their niche, and you could be, it's like being an honor student in this class, but you just got to be in a regular class.
Yeah.
If you got an A in the honors class, that's like college credit. You got some guys that are great coordinators, but they are not going to be the best head coach. And the other thing, like you said, the team around you,
yes,
of coaches that understand the game, what you're trying to do, your game plan, and let them do their thing as far as helping you guys come together as one unit.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Because like you got 11 guys on the field at one time that have to play well together. Well, then you got all these coaches that have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
There you go. Are we done? Have we gone through?
No, we got Chicago and the Vikings.
Okay, Chicago and the Vikings. So what we got here?
The Vikings, they're playing good. The Bears, just depends on what he will give you. Kirk Cousins, he's still playing on that contract.
Let me tell you something. Like in basketball, John contract. It's like
exactly. And Justin is still young too,
Yeah.
man. You got a lot of young guys out here, and they're trying to show that they belong. However, like we said earlier, this is not college, so you have to be smarter on what you're doing when it comes to running and getting outside the pocket. Yeah, it works sometimes, but don't let that be the basis of, oh, I don't see anything, boom, I'm gone.
that's the
You know
one
what I'm
off.
saying?
That's not the old school Randall Cunningham
Exactly.
running for your life thing.
You
that's
got to be smarter when you do it. When it comes to
already.
that.
Ox, what we got?
We got the Seahawks at Saints. That's another game. This depends on quarterback play
And who shows up that day.
And it's because right now, it's like one of those things where Geno Smith, he's doing, it's crazy because he is doing well. New Orleans is Jekyll and Hyde right now.
You never know who's going to show up with that one. What's the last?
Dolphins and Jets. We talk
You
about
know
Tua.
what? When the whole panel just,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, you know, they playing at the Jets?
Yeah.
Okay, so based on the fact that the Jets had a good game this past week,
That's
and then Tua's out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for
Rolling
however
like-
long that is. So it's probably going to lean towards the Jets' favor. And the Jets has always been a nemesis of the Dolphins, you know, in that AFC East, you know, it's the Patriots. You know, you got the Patriots, the Dolphins, the Jets. And, you know, I mean, it's like, man.
Take a pick.
You know, it depends on who's doing what. The Dolphins hoping that they can find a way to hold on to win, you know, another 7-8 games to be playoff eligible.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets are trying to make a turnaround yet again.
Yeah.
However, the Jets had a great draft this year.
Yeah.
The Jets had a great draft and they had a lot of talent, and a lot of their young talent is playing now, and they may come into their own over this is on week 5 now.
And Joe's a Richmond guy. No one internet. Joe Dudley is from Richmond, the Douglas Freeman.
All righty. So as we're wrapping up, how can people find you out there?
Ken Oxendine, that's my handle, boxsportsgroup.com. That's my nonprofit. And this you can find me, just look me up.
Congratulations on you and the missus on putting on Chester Fest.
Yes,
you guys killed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had 165 plus vendors. We've had people say it was the best Chester Fest.
That's right. You got to shout out the missus. Like you got something coming up too. You guys,
we're working on Christmas Village.
There you go.
And we a turkey trot in November. So we got a couple of things that's coming up. She got her hands, doing a couple of things in the community as well.
There you go. What's happening, Coach?
What's up with you, Mike? So I'm gonna hit you with this. So we did the event through the alumni. We did the event down at Hampton University Proton Therapy Institute.
There you go.
Then on the panel that included 5 other NFL players, along with Hall of Famer Bruce Smith for for Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. I actually got tested that day along with Ken. He showed up that day. He was down there with me, taking pictures and backdrop. We're looking to have that be an annual event that we team up with them. Also, I got approached about doing 2 other things. One at Hampton University. I was asked to come speak at Hampton University on what they call Active Day, where they're trying to get people on campus more active and more health awareness, to the kids out there and what to do and how to deal with mental health along with physical health. There's a gala, a breast cancer gala that's coming up at the end of this month that I was invited to go to and, say a few words. You
guys got your golf tournament too coming up, don't you?
The golf tournament, we've changed dates because of the timing.
Okay.
We don't want to have a golf tournament and not be able to send them to the Super Bowl of golf this year. So we're going to push it to the spring. However, we do have an event coming up at Top Golf in November. And the Top Golf event is going to allow foursomes to come up. We're going to rent out a whole floor, have foursomes, and then a celeb to play with that foursome. Whoever wins at that gets a free foursome along with a celeb into the golf tournament in the spring, with a chance to win a chance to go to the Super Bowl of golf. Is either going to be in California or Vegas, wherever they choose it next year. Okay, and that's all expenses paid. So, if you can, swing them sticks like that, come on out.
My man Al Green, he got game like that.
So,
he got game like that. Al Green does. All right, how can people find you out there?
Through the alumni, Dion.Fox at NFLalumni.org. Mr. Fox 57 at 5756foundation.com, and 5756foundation.com is my foundation. So, look me up, check me out, and 5756 Foundation on IG.
There you go.
I'm getting used to this stuff.
We created a monster. All right, so we got to run. So on the mic of Mike, ESPN Richmond, the Choice 105. That's where you find us. This is hands down the business radio program. But this right here is sports. We're going to do this weekly. It's Ox and Fox talking about sports. I'd like to thank my man Al Green. He's on the wheels of steel, doing the sound. Emmanuel DBRK. If you ever need any video work done, make sure you check him out. Our good friends here at the Hilton. Hey, you know what? They're award winning. So John Carey and his team. So if you need space for an event, hotel rooms, they will take care of you. They put us up and they treat us nicely every week. Women Speaking Sports will be back next week. We're just holding it down. to the ladies there. I would like to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you take a listen to our advertisers and sponsors, because as I always say, the microphone ain't free. Plus, my grandkids need stuff. So, you know, we already talked about them Jordan 5s. That hurt. That did hurt a bit. Oh, shout out to RVH Fashion Week. I'm in Jimmy Budd. I'm down there this week. I got my sneakers from my sneaker fest from free merch, free lunch. You guys from Thomas Jefferson. John Marshall, the JMs. That's what I'm wearing. I'm rocking with them. All right, so on the mic, Mike, we got to run. Take care, folks. Thanks, now. See you.
Thanks for having me.
I'm exhausted all this talking. getting paid by the word here, messing with y'all. You know I sit over there. I do. and take that ridicule over there. All right, we good.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
All right, come on, y'all. Let's get a picture real quick. Oh, come on, y'all. Get the picture. So wait a second. Why are you shaking your head like, yeah? You a football? Thank you. All right, come on, y'all. Let's get a picture. I'll get over here. You guys, come on. We're gonna take this picture.
How high school did you go to?
Meadowbrook.
I went to Hampton High.
Oh, okay. Crabber.
Yeah, there it is. Were you there?
Oh, we came out the same year.
Mike Smith.
Yeah, were you there when you were there?
Oh, yeah.
Man, he's in there forever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's,
that was at Terry Kirby and Chris.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know TK.
There it
We
is.
played, we played in Miami together.
Boom, there it is.
Did you play with Mike Houston?
Let's get a picture, guys.
I went to high school.
Okay.
Point there at the, see.
I don't know, really?
There you go.
Squeezing.
Here we go.
Man, go and stand in the middle, man. You know we'll be in the middle. Look at him.
Appreciate that.
Boom, yeah. So Dwight Vick, he's one of the guys I played with that went there to play there. He's Virginia Tech. He does all this radio stuff that community. His cousin Mike Vick, well, yes. Yeah.
I'm Kelly, I'm Phil.
You doing, man?
He runs our front page.
Okay.
So he knows what you just did every
I
day.
hear the spots over on.
That I do know.
Yeah, he on ESPN all the time.
This will be interesting this week. I get what's so crazy, and we talked a little bit last week, was this comparison. And right now, Vegas numbers are like way high. It's like the numbers.
The underdogs are winning 50, 60. And if you're a home underdog, you're winning at 62%. It'll pan out.
Yeah, it always does. It always does.
That's why the house always wins.
Yeah.
Thing is, we can do that.
There it is, yeah. So how long y'all been with Richmond Times?
Since November 2020, I was with Virginia Pilot.
Okay.
Press.